Welcome back to the channel. I am coming to you from beautiful Gananoque, Ontario, home of the Thousand Islands. What do you mean you've never heard of the Thousand Islands? There's 1,000 of them. You must have heard of one of them. Actually, we just got off a cruise and I was trying to count, but I didn't see 1,000, so I'm just gonna have to take their word for it. Anyway, so after I released my video on 5 types of bottoms, I got a lot of messages, which I love to get from you guys. And there was people saying that they related to certain types of the bottoms that I highlighted in the video, but also people were saying, hey, you missed this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. So here we are. I compiled another list of 5 more types of gay bottoms. So let's get into it. This first type, I don't even know how I missed him in the first video, which I'm linking right now at the top of the screen if you missed it. This guy is so obvious. It's such a popular type of bottom. And the funny thing is I covered his counterpart in the other video, the Dom bottom, and why that was so front of mind for me. That's weird. But back to this bottom. This bottom is here to serve. He's the cadet in the military and you're the drill sergeant. He'll do what you say because this guy is there for you. He gets off when he sees you getting off. He gets pleasure from your pleasure. He's the submissive bottom. Sometimes he's misunderstood and miscategorized as someone who has no confidence or self-respect, but I am here to tell you that if that's what you think, then you are dead wrong, my friend. This guy knows what he likes, and that is making you feel good, because when you feel good, he's getting off on your enjoyment. He's a giver, a nurturer, and nothing makes him happier than seeing you have a good time. And if you have... Now these guys are good for dom tops and guys who are experimenting with sex, because these bottoms will let you try different things out. Okay, this next bottom is a close relative to the sub bottom with one glaring difference. The sub bottom is concerned with giving and receiving pleasure. This next bottom is only worried about receiving pleasure. He's the guy that doesn't really care who you are or what your needs are. This guy is the pillow princess. Now, to be honest, I hadn't even heard of this term until it was pointed out to me as a bottom type in the comments. But I do know this type of guy, and I have encountered this type of guy. He's the guy that doesn't see you as a person. You're just a tool to stick in him. He's only concerned with his own pleasure, and you're a non-entity. I'm not sure. I think that he thinks that in giving up his whole, that he's doing you this some great favor, and therefore you should just be thankful for that. But we all know what's really going on here, because he is a selfish bottom that will expect you to do all the work while he gets all the pleasure. This bottom is actually good if you equally don't care about his needs and just take care of your own. Okay, this next bottom is probably not somebody that you want to bring home to stay in your family home like during the holidays. That is, unless you don't mind your entire family hearing him moan and scream and shout and holler and beg and otherwise make tons and tons of noise. It might be a little bit uncomfortable the next morning when you're sitting across from your mom at the breakfast table, knowing she heard you penetrate your bottom for how long, in what positions, and when he finished. He's the verbal bottom. Much like how a painter works with paints as his medium, the verbal bottom uses words as his medium. He's talking about how he likes it, how much he likes you, telling you to go harder, and singing his praises to God. Now, as I said before, during any person's bottoming career, they can be any combination of these guys, and I can remember a time when I had an angry neighbor banging on my wall, telling me to be quiet. So, this guy is super fun as long as you're in the right space for him to express himself fully. Speaking of expressing yourself completely, it's only through the support that you show me that I can continue this channel. So head on over to patrickmarano.com for the ways in which you can show me a little love. And let me know down in the comments, what other bottoms am I missing in this video? Let's make another one. Okay, back to the bottoms. Okay, so this next bottom is a member of the flipping world. And I'm not talking about flipping houses, I'm talking about flip. When this guy bottoms, it's more of a negotiation And on the sex scale, he's closer to verse than being a pure bottom, obviously. He's the guy that goes Dutch when paying for dinner. He's about balance, the yin, the yang. He's an equal opportunist, enjoys the variety of life, and wants you to share in it. He's the quid pro quo bottom. This is another term that I heard from somebody else in the comments and really striked a match in my brain. Striked a match in my brain? That sounds dangerous. Anyway, it really lit a fuse? A light bulb? I don't know. Anyway, it made me think that, yes, that's perfect. That is a type of guy that I've encountered as well. So how it works with this guy is he will bottom for you, but you gotta bottom for him in return. It works really well with verse guys or even someone wanting to experiment with bottoming because he'll really encourage you to do it. And he knows what he is doing because he's been in both positions, which is super helpful. Definitely not a match if you're a total top. Final bottom is not one you'd expect. Well, at least that's what he's hoping for, because his main concern in sex is that his preferences for taking it up the butt doesn't read in his everyday life. It doesn't read on his face, it doesn't read on his clothes, in his mannerisms. I mean, not that there are bottom mannerisms. There's a smidge of internalized homophobia going on here and misogyny, because in the dark recesses of his mind, a bottom equals femme, and anything female isn't wanted. He subscribes to the masculine idea of power, in charge, on top, that kind of behavior, and therefore secretly he hates himself for loving bottom. He's the closet bottom. Now, I really do feel for this guy. Like, imagine loving to do something so much and being ashamed of it. He's basically like those religious pastors that are married to a woman and lead those mega churches preaching family values and nuclear family and that a marriage is between a man and a woman. And then he gets caught in a meth-fueled orgy strapped in a sling with 3 male sex workers. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's sad. Again, if you have more bottom ideas, keep them coming because I love making bottom videos. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!